Welcome back. Let's turn our attention to the tech space. And a mid-cap company, Birlasoft, reported a disappointing set of numbers. Growth got clobbered back. But let's find out what's the way ahead from here on. We have Mr. Guha, the MD and CEO of Birlasoft, who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Guha. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Always good to have you on the show. Well, the past quarter was a bit of a dampener for a whole host of issues. There were deferrals. There appears some softness in discretionary spending as well. You tell us, how are things likely to shape up? And I want two numbers from you. Earlier, you were guiding for industry-leading growth, or maybe you'll outbeat the industry growth as well. Do you stick to that? Last year, I think the top line grew by close to 7%. So for this year, what's in store with this, softest start to the year? And also margins, you were guiding, I think, for around 16% on an exit basis. Are you headed in that direction?
So, Nigel, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. So, look, we admit that the first quarter was not really a great quarter for us. I mean, it was disappointing. Even for us, it was disappointing. But, Nigel, you must also realize that this is on the back of almost 5 quarters of constant sequential and year-on-year growth. So we disappointed the market this quarter, but I think we will come back strong in Q2. From a margin perspective, again, because we did not deliver top-line growth, and as you know, our business is so heavy on operating leverage, the margin suffered a little bit. But I feel if the revenue growth comes back in Q2, which I think it will, you will see an improved margin.
Okay, so what are the numbers you want to give us then? Margins, a little south of 15%. Revenue, you're expecting things to grow. I'm guessing that the macro hasn't got worse for you. So growth for this year, do you stick to that industry-leading growth? And margins will see an improvement of how much? 150 basis points from here. Previous quarter, you were at 16%. So you get back to that mark?
So, Nigel, we can't give a guidance, and we don't give a guidance. Our job is to execute for the quarter. So I can't really talk for the year. But for the quarter, I can tell you Q2 will be better than Q1. That we are very confident about. As far as margins are concerned, we will see how Q2 pans out from a margin standpoint. For the year, it is difficult to give a guidance only because the Q1 was a little disappointing for us. So we will take one quarter at a time and see how the year pans out.
Mr. Guha, would you characterize the demand environment as still very, very tough?
So, Prashant, the demand environment has not really changed from the last time we spoke. I feel that demand environment is tough, but it is little cautiously optimistic from a standpoint that it probably is getting a little better. We're seeing some green shoots to begin with. But again, there are elections in the US, so we will see how that pans out. But by and large, I'm seeing demand not very different from what we saw in 4Q.
Okay, all right. And what about the total contract value? That as well did see a sharp fall. Any order closing got delayed, which explains the reason for that decline?
So, Nigel, if you look at from a year-on-year perspective, our order booking has actually gone up. We grew 10% year-on-year on order booking. Now, Q4 generally is a strong quarter because we get a lot of renewals. So quarter-on-quarter may not be the right way of looking at it. My sense is, from an order booking perspective for the year, this year will be better than last year.
Okay, this year will be better than last year. Could you talk to us a little bit about how the Microsoft business is likely to ramp up? What's the outlook there?
So that business is growing, Prashant. So we partner with Microsoft very significantly, as you know. They're a big partner. I can't give you specific numbers because we can't talk specific clients, but that is growing above the company average for sure.
Okay. Over 20% on a year-on-year basis?
Again, can't give a number, Prashant, but I can only tell you that far above the company average, double-digit growth for sure.
Okay, far above the company average, double-digit growth. Thank you very much, Mr. Guha. Thank you for joining us and running us through the numbers as you see them. No real sort of guidance with in terms of numerical numbers, but in a tough demand environment, which has not changed from the last quarter, they're saying that they're cautiously optimistic.